It's time for some straight talk. The big wireless companies charge a boatload for their superior network coverage. But guess what? Straight Talk uses the same cell towers but charges a lot less. Who knew? Well, now you do. And I do. So let's do something. It's time to switch to Straight Talk. Unlimited plans start as low as $35 a month on America's largest, most dependable networks. Straight Talk Wireless. Only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. A month equals 30 days. Please refer always to the latest terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Don Le Batard.
Let's go back to Mel Kiper Jr.'s list of divas.
Number 2, definitely on my diva big board is Whitney Houston. Definitely been going back and forth on this one throughout the process. Dan certainly has all the tools. You talk about it in I Will Always Love You, arguably the greatest ballad of all time, but ultimately I couldn't escape the off-the-field concerns. Hanging around with a shady group. Dan, this has a lot of team executives a little nervous, a little gun-shy to pull the trigger on Whitney Houston.
He's dead!
That would be an off-the-field concern, Dan.
Stugotz.
Number 1, Beyonce Knowles, 5'7", 137 pounds, extremely confident in her abilities, powerful voice, incredible agility, has proven she can be part of the team, but also go out on her own and win you a game. Astonishing lower body strength, too. She could probably squat a cement truck, Dano. Consider me a loud and proud member of the Beehive. She's overcome a lot of adversity, weak teammates, lack of roster continuity, pregnancies, Becky with the good hair, displayed incredible resiliency. There's a reason she's bae.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Hoping to have Bill Burr here in just a minute on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Golden State Warriors guard Stephen Curry will be venturing into the field of online education and serving as an instructor teaching via video the fundamentals of what makes him one of the most skilled creative players in the NBA. God, get over yourself. An autopsy confirmed 12-year NFL veteran Fred McNeil had CTE, just as a brain scan 4 years before his death had indicated. A breakthrough researchers hope will help in their quest to diagnose the disease in the living. The development was published online this week in Neurosurgery. And finally, Guns N' Roses closed their show in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Wednesday with a visit from an unexpected guest, Foo Fighters' Dave Grohl. Grohl brought out his guitar and rocked out, shredding alongside Slash, and also took over Axl's lead vocals at times during Paradise City. God, that is cool.
What is the greatest one of those that you've ever seen? What is the greatest surprise appearance by anybody that you've ever seen? I'm
not certain it was a surprise. I have to check, but I know Pink Floyd was doing a concert and Eddie Vedder came out and sung Comfortably Numb, and it was fantastic. But I don't know if it was a surprise. I don't know. I'm not certain. I'll check it out. Yeah, I deserve it. Deserve that. This SportsCenter is brought to you by JCPenney. Guys, the holiday challenge is here, Get everything on your list for less than you think. Refresh your holiday wardrobe with 60% off. Men's sport coats, top coats, and dress pants starting at just $23.99. Hurry in, JCPenney. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
We are looking to find Bill Burr. We are looking for him.
I'm just thinking if I could have come up with a musical combination that was worse than Pink Floyd and Eddie Vedder, like a surprise appearance for Simon and Garfunkel.
I definitely thought you were going to do something with Grateful Dead. I thought for sure you were going to bring. What is the combination that Stugotz could have put together for Maximum This?
Wingo and Golic.
If I go, no, I mean musically. Oh. If I go all in, if I say to you, Bruce Springsteen with a surprise guest appearance from John Mellencamp. Like, do I have a better hand?
Wow.
Do I have a better
That's strong. That's strong.
Wow.
Because I can go easy and Hank Williams Jr. in country music, but no. But what you did right there, that's true to the game.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Who can beat me if I go in
Brian
with
Adams, maybe.
Brian Adams.
Brian Adams is a good one.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Who you pairing Brian Adams with? Who is Brian Adams going to have appearing with him? We've misplaced Bill Burr, by the way. We're trying to find him.
Bill Burr is there, by the way. I would go Michael Bublé and Brian Adams doing a holiday duet.
All right, let's do this with Burr then. You can see Bill at the Hard Rock Live at Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida on December 14th. For tickets, go to myhrl.com. Let's start there with Bill Burr. If you were choosing, and thanks as always, Bill, for making time for us. If you were choosing like the whitest possible musical act that you could have interrupted by the next possible whitest musical act as a surprise guest appearance, what would be your nominees to beat my Boss concert with a surprise guest appearance from John Mellencamp?
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I would have to say Johnny Mathis.
Oh, wow.
Would be a really white one.
Yeah,
and
Right.
You're going
And who's surprising him? Who's the surprise guest?
Are you going Johnny Cash? Yeah. What's his top?
No, Johnny Mathis. He's actually a black guy, but he's like so, like, you know. I would say him, and then who opens for him? Oh, I don't know. What is that, Macklemore? Is that the white rapper? I would say that.
Macklemore is strong. He's very pleased with himself. Wait a minute. So do you think that you defeated me?
My job is just to be funny. That's all. My job's just to be funny. So I don't know. I don't know what the kids are listening to. I would say, I don't know, 21 Pilots and all those screaming white teenage chicks. I don't know who else.
Somebody has nominated Kenny G and Michael Bolton.
I think that's the winner right there.
Does that win?
No.
What?
I'm going to tell you why those don't. Those don't win. Because those white guys are keeping it real. Okay, what you have to have a really white guy, you have to pick a white dude that actually thinks that he's cool, that thinks he's above his whiteness, that he actually can dance and that type of thing. That's the kind of guy you got to get, personally. That's my belief. All right, so I know this is your game, but I'm kind of taking it over.
I like your beliefs. So with your beliefs, I nominate Bublé. How about that?
I don't know who it is, but the name alone, I'm going to say that's a great pick.
Bill Burr with us. You can see Bill Hard Rock Live at Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida on December 14th. For tickets, go to myhrl.com. How excited are you right now about your Celtics, man?
This is the deal. I've been so damn busy. I went from writing on this cartoon and recording it right into an acting gig that tonight I actually ordered the NBA package yesterday and the NHL. So I watched my Bruins get smoked by the Anaheim Ducks last night, and I'm watching my first. I don't even know who the Celtics are playing, but I heard that the Kyrie Irving thing is working great. I'm not nervous about that Hayward guy because he broke a bone. I think he'll be back. If he tore a ligament or something, I'd be much more nervous about that.
He's not coming back. Burr, what happened to you? You've been like our Celtics
What do you mean he's not coming back?
Yeah, he's not coming back.
He's done
this
for the year, Bill. And you're playing the Warriors tonight, by the way.
But what is happening with you? Your team's got no team has had a winning streak like this to start a season since 1973-74, and you're not paying any attention?
I'm working. Here's the thing. Everybody in Hollywood, because everyone's getting busted for all this crazy sex stuff, they're trying to make Hollywood seem like it's this big, giant, consented like orgy out here, and that's not accurate. What it really is a bunch of people working 14 to 16 hours a day, missing their kids growing up, and that's the life that I was living for the last month. So I have no idea what's going on. I just told you I was busy. I ordered the package. I'm supporting the league, and I'm sitting down tonight. Bam! That's what I got going on. How many games have we won in a row?
13 in a row.
Wow. Yeah.
You missed it.
I'm out of the loop.
But wait a minute. So not only that, but you just had a kid, didn't you? Last time we talked to you, you've got a kid that you're neglecting.
This is the thing. Yeah. Then this is the thing. My kid now is crawling like 90 miles an hour and it's just starting to stand up. So even when I sit down to watch the game, like I'm burning more calories than I ever have. Like watching a game, they're usually just sitting there. It's like a negative thing. Now it's like positive. Like I got to run around. She really likes hockey because of all the movement and stuff. But basketball, I don't know. She's running all over the place. But I don't know. It's probably bad that I called in a sports show and I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's okay. No, it's not bad. No, it's not bad. We don't care about that.
I mean, the fact you didn't know Gordon Hayward was out for the entire year.
No, that's all right, though. But let's talk about flying helicopters.
I knew his foot turned around. I obviously saw that, but it's just a broken bone. And depending how deep you go into the playoffs, I'm going to tell you right now, I bet he comes back in like May.
I love you, man.
Bill, you can't be totally uninformed, know nothing that's going on, and then have a strong opinion like that usurps the doctor.
Dude, he broke his ankle. He didn't have his foot amputated. How long does it take to recover from a broken ankle?
Right.
Burr, how are you coming up as an authority on this?
Jerry Rice.
He's right.
I saw Jerry Rice come back from an ACL injury. He came back and played like by the end of the year. Granted, he got hurt that game, but that doesn't, I'm trying to win this argument.
You can see Bill at Hard Rock Live at Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida on December 14th. I love that as a sports radio trick, throwing in at just the end. Hey, I'm just trying to win the argument. It sort of like unmasks everything. If you want
Aaron Rodgers they're saying with his broken collarbone could be back in January if they make the playoffs.
That's
Is that
correct.
a different kind of bone up there? I mean, I don't.
No, you win. You win.
I don't know. Dave Matthews? Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews. Dave
good.
Matthews is a good one. Dave Matthews is a good one. But this is the thing. I feel bad trashing all these white guys like I'm not the exact thing that they are. I'm the corniest white dude that ever lived. So I like all these people. The Kenny G. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's one of the worst things I've ever heard.
Are we trashing these people, really? Or
Kenny G is actually cool, man. A lot of people don't realize how cool that guy is. He has his own pilot's license, and he's got the balls to fly himself to his own gigs.
Have you done any of that in the helicopter?
With an instructor. Yeah, I'm not going to fly out there. There's all kinds of, military no-fly zones out where I live. I'm not going to do that by myself. Plus, actually, I got to be honest with you, flying by yourself, as much as an ego boost it is, it's actually really kind of boring. You know, you just, oh, my God, look at that, Bill. Yeah, Bill, that is amazing. What a view. So nice to be here with you, Bill.
It's okay. So it's flying alone is boring, even if you're flying your own plane, huh? You can see Bill at Hard Rock Live, Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida, December 14th. For tickets, go to myhrl.com. Last thing here. Louis C.K. is a friend of yours. I know you sounded, the quotes I was reading from you sounded kind of heartbroken by the whole thing and kind of confused. Like, how have you been handling all of that?
I got it all on my podcast, sir. You can listen to the whole thing, and I'm not going to do little droppings of it at the end of it with a topic that's as sensitive as this. God knows they're going after anybody.
Fair enough. Totally fair.
I was joking on my podcast. They're probably going after his mailman at this point, where they're just like, if you deliver mail to his house, you're part of the problem.
Okay. All right. You've discussed it well enough on your podcast. Go over there, people. Tell people where they can get your podcast so I don't get you in any trouble with
not condoning any of that behavior, but good Lord. I can't watch Louis' specials anymore, but I can still see Hitler's speeches on the History Channel. But say what maybe it's time to take another look at Hitler. I mean, say what you want about him, but he could keep it in his pants.
No,
There's something positive, right? No. Hey, you brought it up, dude.
I know, I know, but just go back to your podcast. You were better off over there. It is. You're right. I did bring it up. Thank you, Bill. We appreciate your time.
Awkward transition. Time for some ads.
Hey, you brought it up.
Blaming you.
I mean, okay. He's totally right, though. Totally unfair to do to him. 30 seconds left in an interview. Rape, sexual harassment, go. I mean, it's the second time I'm guilty of that mistake. Second time, and I deserve to be called out on it every single time, hopefully in that same fashion. That makes me deeply uncomfortable.
Well, let's criticize the Bills' decision-making.
That's right.
Dan Batard.
You are the best, and when I say the best, I mean the very worst and most evil.
Stugotz.
The worst.
But this time, it's for real.
Worst.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Diplo going to join the show in 15 minutes. If you missed any of the show, you can listen to all 3 hours of the Dan Le Batard Show on demand in the ESPN app, plus our Miami-only hour that airs before the show, and now you can subscribe to our Best of Podcasts. It's all available in the Listen tab of the ESPN app.
I've got a couple of shameful admissions to make here. We used to do a segment, Shameful Admissions. We just go around the room, and everybody would say something that caused them shame from their past. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've got to clean up a bunch of stuff from the last segment. The last segment ended with Bill Burr railing about Hitler, and that's not even the part that I need to apologize for or fix. I did not know that Johnny Mathis was black, and so I laughed at the joke that he made, which is his most famous white musician that he would have instead of Barry Manilow or Bryan Adams or Bruce Springsteen if he was putting together a concert of white people, interrupted by the debut or by the guest appearance cameo of another white person, because we were talking about, what was it? Was it Dave Grohl and Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, it was Dave Grohl singing lyrics with Axl Rose.
And so what ends up happening is I'm laughing at a joke where Bill Burr is saying that Johnny Mathis was the whitest of all the musicians, and I just didn't know that Johnny Mathis was black. So that leads me back to the last time something like this happened, which is Stugotz related, and Jonathan Coachman is still mad at us about this. Jonathan Coachman is now on Periscope. Jonathan Coachman, when he was at ESPN, did not like that we kept playing this, and it was a genuinely heartfelt apology from Stugotz.
Wait a second. What do you mean that he's now on Periscope?
He's no longer on ESPN. He's doing his own show on Periscope.
Oh.
Is that not known? Is that not a known thing? Or is that what happened? I'm not making fun of him. I'm saying that he has left.
It's just a funny sentence that he is now on Periscope.
He's on Periscope. But anyways, this is the backstory, all right? Stugotz didn't know one time that Jonathan Coachman on the air was black. So this is what happened with Stugotz. Stugotz, you should probably apologize here. We should apologize for what happened last segment. It went off the rails on us. What do you want to say?
I will apologize. You don't need to apologize for anything. I need to apologize. They are my weekend observations. I said what I said. I had no idea, and I apologize to Jonathan Coachman, who has tweeted at us, and he's upset and has every right to be upset. I honestly, and anyone who knows me will understand this and believe this, I honestly, until after the segment ended and we went to commercial break, had no idea that Jonathan Coachman was black.
It's funny. It's funny right now that I didn't know Johnny Mathis was black. I'm made slightly to feel better by Dominique Foxworth coming in here, walking in during the segment and saying that he thought Johnny Mathis was white too.
I mean, Johnny Mathis, he had a conch. I think Johnny Mathis was kind of going for that. He was on a bit of the Michael Jackson train. So Johnny Mathis is a little deceptive.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, so wait a minute. You know who Johnny Mathis is, and you were confused about whether he was white or black.
Well, to be fair, first I walked in and Allison said, "Do you know who Johnny Cash is?" And I said, "Yeah, a white music man." And then she said, "What about Johnny Mathis?" I'm like, "Yeah, white music man." Set up. And what you did to Coachman? Dirty. Yeah.
What?
Periscope's
now a Periscope.
I mean, it's so
honestly, I swear to you guys, I didn't.
Sports Center.
No. Wait a minute. I swear that was not a shot. It was not meant as a shot.
It was, but whatever. So since we're all getting on Coachman, I did first take a bunch of times. One of them was with Coachman, and he did one of the weirdest things in the history of the world.
Oh, please tell.
So we're about to start the show, and he takes his two fingers and puts them under his tongue, and then grabs his neck around here, and then goes, "Nah, gah, 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 gah. Nah, gah, 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 gah." And I'm there, and I look over, and I'm just like, "Hey, what in the is going on?" And he was like, "I'm just doing my voice exercises."
Jonathan Goatman.
Nah, gah, 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 gah.
Don Le Batard.
They're talking sports, going at it as hard as they can.
Stugotz.
They're talking sandwiches, going at it as hard as they can.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Yeah. Yeah. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Diplo going to be there in just a minute. There are some stories that you just have to hear to believe. Season 2 of the acclaimed 30 for 30 podcast series is now available on the ESPN app and Apple Podcast. Here's your SportsCenter update. Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry will be venturing into the field of online education and serving as an instructor teaching via video the fundamentals of what makes him one of the most skilled creative players in the NBA. An autopsy confirmed 12-year NFL veteran Fred McNeil had CTE, just as a brain scan 4 years before his death had indicated. A breakthrough researchers hope will help in their quest to diagnose the disease in the living. The development was published online this week in Neurosurgery. And finally, Get Out will be submitted to the Golden Globes as a comedy. It's not the first time the Hollywood Foreign Press has bent the rules in the Best Picture comedy or musical category. Everyone can remember the comedy classic The Martian, winning a couple of years ago. Amid the announcement, director Jordan Peele tweeted, "Get Out is a documentary." This SportsCenter is brought to you by JCPenney. Guys, the holiday challenge is here. Get everything on your list for less than you think. Refresh your holiday wardrobe with 60% off men's sports coats, top coats, and dress pants starting at $23.99. Hurry in, JCPenney. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
He is maybe the biggest doing it, DJing anywhere in the world. Diplo with us on ESPN Radio. Give Me Future, the new documentary film chronicling Major Laser's concert in downtown Havana, Cuba. Debuts this Friday only on Apple Music. So Diplo will be with us here in just a moment. I got so many things that I need to clean up. Stugotz, people didn't like the Bill Burr interview, and I loved it. But before we get to that, let's bring in Diplo here. Thank you for making time for us. Again, Give Me Future, the new documentary film chronicling Major Laser's historic concert in downtown Havana, Cuba, debuts this Friday only on Apple Music. Thank you for joining us, Diplo. Are there a lot of people in the world who call you Thomas?
Not really. The only people who read my Wikipedia page, I think. My real name's kind of Wesley. That's sort of like what people call me.
Okay, so so does everyone in your life call you Wesley, like the people closest to you, or do some of them also call you Diplo?
Yeah. Diplo or Wesley. Depends. But yeah, you can call me whatever you want. You can call me Thomas. I'm totally happy with that, too.
When can you tell us that you felt your life changing? We'll get to Give Me Future in a second, but when is it that you could feel that you were on the cusp of breaking through to, beyond your wildest dream?
I mean, it's been such a whirlwind. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing music for 20 years and kind of been DJing and making electronic music for over 20 years. So it's sort of been a trend for a lot of people in music, this kind of genre that I work in. I've been doing it for so long. It's been a slow climb. I'm honestly still amazed every day that I'm, still doing it, and I'm still happy that people are listening to what I'm doing. And I'm just every day I feel like I got more to do.
So you don't feel like there was any point where you broke through? It was just always a slow climb. Like you didn't feel at any point I've arrived.
It's not. I think when I was younger, I was still like an outcast. I never really had a hobby. I wasn't good at making music, to be honest. I couldn't play anything that well. I think just when I started to release music and I really making mixtapes and trying to make beats, like buy my first drum machines, maybe when I quit my job. I was a school teacher for a while in Philadelphia, and I quit my job when I was about 22 years old. I got a tattoo on my arm that has like the logo I have, and I just said, if I have to commit my life to something, this is what I'm going to do, and I've just been doing it since then.
How hard was it to quit that job?
It was very easy. I hated the job. It was hard to make money doing music.
Right. And so you start your career.
I was broke for about 5 years after that. So then it finally started making money.
Well, what did broke look like for you? Because now, it's crazy, right? You're the 6th highest paid DJ in 2007. Didn't you? You made like $30 million last year, right?
I don't think so. They must have got the wrong information.
Well, that's what Forbes is saying. Just a shade under 30 million.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You make a lot of money. Okay.
I need to call those Forbes guys. I need to call those guys because I think it might be a little higher than that. No, I'm joking. I think I lived in Philadelphia for about 10 years, and I lived back then. My rent was like $250. I started selling mixtapes and records, and I bought a house on my block for the money I made cash. That was back when I had no manager. I just got paid cash for doing shows. So I learned how to hustle my way up living in Philadelphia and making music that way. I never thought of being on a global scale. I literally made money in the city, doing parties, selling music locally. So when the internet exploded, when you could sell music, you could find people on the internet, I took advantage of that fully. And that was about 10, 15 years ago. And I think that's why this movie is really special because you see, when this one guy in Cuba with the piquete, if you watch the film, you can see how resilient the Cubans are, how they can take advantage of tiny little pieces of information, tiny little pieces and resources to create something crazy. I think I did the same thing when I grew up in Philadelphia.
Give Me Future, the new documentary film chronicling Major Laser's historic concert in Havana, Cuba, debuts this Friday. That was 500,000 people at that concert, right? That was 500,000 people?
Yeah, roughly it was about that much, I think.
Where have you played? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, when we got there, we really, the only concern for us, the main concern, I think even when we started doing the documentary, was like, how do we get anybody to come to this concert? Like, how do we find anything? We thought maybe we would struggle to get 10, 15,000 people there. We were like, this is going to be amazing. We get that many people in Havana, Cuba. That's like one of the biggest shows we've ever done, solo. So when we got the note that there were going to be over 200,000 there, then 400,000 there, we were just like, it was insane. And by then we were past the point of no return. We had to really, we're working with a crowd that big. We only had like 4 barricades to the stage. It was very scary to see what could possibly come of the show. So,
what is the place that you've played where you've been most moved by the crowd? Is there any one place that you could point to, whether it was a large crowd or an energy, where you found yourself palpably moved?
Well, for sure, Havana was special because, after the show was over and people were dispersing, and you got to remember, this is 400,000 people that almost everybody walked to the concert. There's no transportation in Cuba. There's, as you might know, there's old cars there. There's, like, little minivans that travel people around the city, but everybody walked to the Malecon just for this concert, and they walked off. And as the sun set, it was just like a euphoria. Like, everybody was happy. They're singing, they're dancing their way out of the concert. And that was really special. But, 3 days earlier, we had traveled to Pakistan for a concert in Islamabad. And the show had been canceled 4 or 5 times. There had been a bombing in Islamabad 3 weeks earlier. We were really scared to do the show. We had worked with the U.S. Embassy. But that show was really special because they had never had a concert anywhere in Pakistan like this. And all the kids knew the music I was playing. They knew all the songs I was doing. And they were like literally crying at the concert, at the end of it. And that was another experience that was really special to me.
Did I misunderstand?
Going to these places where
Excuse me. Did I misunderstand you, Diplo? Did you say that you were a lonely, awkward kid?
I think so. Maybe I said that earlier, but in my group in Florida, I didn't have many hobbies. Music was my main focus. So like I said, I wasn't good at music. I knew I wanted to do it, so I didn't know what to do. So I think when I became a little older and acclimated to it and becoming a DJ and making music with a computer, being a producer, that was something I could actually do and I was good at. So it was kind of a release for me, and it helped me grow a lot. And, I found something I was for that.
Diplo, how does this work? Is there, like, DJ beef? Do you beef with Calvin Harris or anything like that?
There is all kinds of DJ beef. Nice. It's a very silly community, to be honest. Like, there's nothing really cool about being a DJ. And so, if you get a chance, I had a show we produced for Viceland called What Would Diplo Do? And it's kind of a parody of a DJ's life and what it's like to be a DJ. And then that show actually did beef with Calvin Harris as sort of a parody. I don't have any real beef with Calvin Harris. I love him to death, but if you get a chance to check out that show, it's really fun.
All right, so Diplo's with us. Give Me Future, new documentary about Major Laser's concert in downtown Havana, Cuba. It debuts this Friday, only on Apple Music. Do you marvel at the amount of money that DJs are making? Like, whenever you dreamed of whatever the high end of this was, what did the high end in your wildest dreams look like?
I mean, this is insane. Every year it's crazier that we're able to do what we're doing. A lot of these young guys are making businesses out of it. I mean, just being able to DJ and go to Vegas every weekend is great, but you have to make sure you understand. It's like being a football player. You're going to have a good 2-3 year run, and there's another DJ to take your spot. So nothing's guaranteed. Nothing. And I think a lot of the young guys might not realize that, but I don't take anything for granted. So every time I make a little money, I invest to track in a project like what we did in Havana, or back in my record label, or producing younger artists. So it's important to understand there's like definitely there's an arc to the career of a DJ as well. But it's insane the money that's being made right now. It's like and that won't last forever as well.
But if I'd said to you, if I'd said to you, if I'd gone back to the beginning and said to you, Diplo, wildest dreams, what does it look like? How much are you making? Where are you performing? It's not 300 flights a year, is it?
No, I would definitely be happy just being able to own my house and have any freedom to like buy food. I'm talking when I was in Philadelphia, I was eating ramen noodles still. Taking the bus to work, and I'm still trying to DJ and do parties. And I bought a used car, and I used to transport my turntables to places. So, I mean, back then I was happy just to have a house that I didn't have to pay rent anymore. That was like my dream. Now it's like everything I make, I just try to invest it back into things, making more stuff. Whether it's a film or it's an album or it's a festival, I think it's important to put that back in the community.
So what would we look at in your life? What's a place that you've arrived in, wherever it is, the company you're keeping, and you're saying, I can't believe that someone who wasn't very good at music has arrived at this spot in the world?
I mean, I think I have two lovely children at home now, and I'm teaching them how to make music. I'm supporting them, and they're actually good at music. And that's amazing because I was never good. And to be able to see and support their hobbies and maybe make future musicians and future creative people is something amazing to me. And being able to be a father and just being a better person in general all the time, thinking about that.
That's a great answer. It's also not what I was looking for. You understand, right? I was looking for that's a great answer. It's a father's answer. I love that we're getting life lessons from Diplo, that he's reprimanding the youngsters. That's fun to hear. Reprimanding those young DJs that don't understand that. And so I was looking for something a little flashier than that. Can you give me something a little better than that?
All right. Well, I'm pretty cheap, man. I'll tell you what. I take Southwest to Las Vegas, and I don't really care. I rather get up and save my money on a private jet, do something else. I'm not flashy. I might buy a nice watch every once in a while, but I'm driving in a rental car right now, to be honest.
Okay.
Really?
All right. You're driving around in a rental car right now talking to us. One of the biggest DJs in the world.
Yeah, I'm actually driving down Hollywood Boulevard in a rental car to hit my Tesla, which is also leased. So I'm actually pretty cheap, man. You'd be surprised.
Did you upgrade the rental car? Are you running around there in a very small, economy-efficient car?
No, they try to give me. What they try to give me? They tried to give me a Nissan Sentra, and I was like, yo, come on. If someone broke into my Tesla, I need a better car. I can't pull up to the club in a Nissan Sentra. And so they did. They had to come through with a better car.
All right, very good.
Do you want to reveal what it is, or you don't want to do that?
It's okay, but better than that is not. It's not going to be great. It's fine. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time, Diplo.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching the movie. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Don Le Batard.
What's the stat, by the way? It sounds like a dumb one.
Box plus minus.
Yep. How about rings plus minus?
I mean, okay.
6 for MJ, 3 for LeBron.
Stugotz.
Put LeBron's rings in a box and then put MJ's rings in a box and tell me who has more. How's that sound? It's plus 3, by the way.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Stugotz just volunteered without me asking him. Just volunteered to me. Dan, it's been a banner day for me. It has not been a banner day for you. It's okay. It happens sometimes. Like, I wasn't looking needy. I wasn't looking broken. I wasn't even hurting. Yeah. Stugotz felt the need to volunteer that I should know that he's been great today and I have not been. And he's right. Yeah. He's totally right.
We'll bounce back, man. You always do, and I'm here for you. I'm just here for you. That's all. I'm always here for you.
But I really liked those two interviews. I liked Diplo, and I liked the interview with Bill Burr. I enjoyed both of them.
Right. I didn't hear much of what Diplo had to say because you were talking over him.
Al Franken has now apologized the second time. He's apologizing for his first apology.
It's an apology for an apology.
Do I hear 3 times? Do I hear 3? Can I hear 3 times? 3 apologies sold to the liberal. The Bills have lost much less than the Browns. I just want to clean some things up here. The Browns in the last 17 years are 100 games under 500. The Bills are 112 and 160, so I was loud wrong there.
I'd still take the Browns there, though, right? You take the last 17 years of Browns football, right? You got a playoff appearance in there.
No,
you don't want to be 7-9. That's the worst.
No, that's not the worst. Yeah. I would prefer not to be 100 games under 5.
I'm so grateful to have that heartbreaking playoff loss to Chris Fumatuma Afala. Thank you.
Who was the quarterback? Was
Kelly Holcomb.
Kelly Holcomb.
Yeah, but at least you had
Did he throw for like 500 yards in that playoff game?
Yeah. Caught Andre King right at the sideline, but he slipped because it was snowy out there. I haven't forgotten this game at all.
And no replay was pre-replay, right?
Well, he wasn't getting out of bounds. I was just saying, if it wasn't snowing, we would have got him. 100 games under 500 over the last since 2000. So that's not including this year.
Yes. Thank you. So I was loud wrong there. Let's go ahead and update the polls, please, at Le Batard Show on Twitter.
Twitter poll is brought to you by Upside.com, giving all business travelers the gift of a better travel experience this holiday season. Upside.com. Is the person who pretends not to care about their birthday and gets upset when people forget their birthday the worst kind of person? 89% of the audience said yes. Mm-hmm. Is Allison the worst kind of person? Mm-hmm. 56% of the audience said yes. Do you hate this Billy? 61% of the audience, unfortunately, said yes.
Wow, the ripping Jeter before he gets started. Wow, the audience has turned on.
Whoa.
Guillermo was a fan favorite before today.
They're a bunch of idiots. It doesn't matter.
Oh, it's really all changing now. No more game day signs for Guillermo. He lashes out at his fan base.
Did Billy ruin the parade?
We were going to have an actual parade to celebrate Loria leaving, but Billy had to get in there real quick and start ripping Jeter. He had to be the first guy out there publicly ripping Jeter, so he wrecked our entire parade.
76% of the audience said yes. What did people love more, the toasted almond bars or Stugotz?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Stugotz was wandering the streets giving away ice cream. That was today.
Yes. 65% of the audience said they loved me more than the toasted almond bars.
You were great.
You.
Banner day for Stugotz, not a banner day for me.
We'll bounce back. Did you know that Dante Jones only made $127 last season? Dante Jones, everyone.
Did you catch a speed bump? There's an H in that Dante
I
name.
did catch a speed bump.
He sounded like the rapping Duke.
I wouldn't make fun of anyone today.
Dante Jones. Dante
Jones. I did, you're right. 81% of the audience had no idea he only made $127 last year. Is Jason Pollock a thief?
Jason or Jackson?
Jackson.
Oh, I read the
internet.
I got $1. I spoke too soon on my banner day.
All those Pollock
wait,
jokes.
I got $1 from the toasted almond bars before. This is great. Hold on a second.
And you also revealed to all right there that that all those Pollock jokes were fed to you by Mike Ryan because you thought he was Jason Pollock.
Yep. Is Jackson Pollock a thief? 71% of the audience said yes. Is art a scam? 73% of the audience said yes. Thank you. What's more absurd, spending $450 million on art or Stugotz thinking he's an art critic? 55% of the audience said me thinking I'm an art critic. I'll take it.
You can always count on Bud Light, just like you can always count on Tailgate Terry. Without Tailgate Terry, you wouldn't have cold Bud Lights and 7-layer dip at every pregame. That's 56 layers per season. Just the right amount if you ask Terry. Tailgate Terry is famous among friends. He deserves a Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, 80 St. Louis, Missouri.